All right, today we're going to deconstruct a really fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of weird modern text. At first glance, it just looks like total chaos. But I think it's a piece that really challenges how we think about structure and meaning.
And this is what's at the heart of it all. This refrain just keeps coming back over and over. It's got a rhythm, it's intense, and it's really the core mystery of the whole piece. What in the world is this supposed to mean?
And that's really what we're trying to figure out here. Are we just looking at a bunch of random, repetitive words? Or is there something deeper going on? A kind of complex system hidden underneath it all? Well, let's dive in and see. Okay, first things first, we've got to approach this the right way. We're not just looking at words on a screen. We need to treat this text like a kind of modernist puzzle, one that really needs us to pay close attention to figure it out. So where does this incredible text come from? You're not going to believe this. It's a transcript from a 25-minute no-equipment home fitness video. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but stick with me here. Let's treat this thing like the important artifact it is, because its origin is exactly what makes its structure so compelling. So our first step is to break down the words themselves. We're going to do a quantitative analysis of the text's very unique and very limited vocabulary. And right away, when we crunch the numbers, a really striking pattern just pops out. It turns out this entire narrative isn't built on a huge vocabulary. Nope. It's built on a foundation of just 3 key phrases, repeated again and again with what seems like a whole lot of purpose. So if you look at the data, there's a definite pecking order. Heat shows up way more than anything else. That's obviously the main idea. Get it is a strong number 2, a secondary theme. And come on is kind of like the punctuation that pops up every now and then. This isn't just random words thrown around. There's a real structure here, like a pyramid of language. So we can actually put these phrases into a couple of buckets to see what they're doing. Heat seems to represent a state of being. It's the goal, the condition you want to be in. Then you've got get it and come on. Those are the modes of action. They're the commands that are supposed to push you toward that state of heat. And this is super important. What do we even mean about get it here? In the universe of this text, it's not about grabbing something physical. It's an abstract command, really. It's an instruction to go acquire an internal state, a feeling, some kind of achievement. It's all about grasping something you can't actually hold. Okay, so that leads us right to the big one, the main event. We have to talk about the philosophy behind that single, powerful word, heat. I mean, just look at this. The word heat isn't just in the text. It pretty much is the text. It's so dominant that everything else just seems to be spinning around it. So you see, heat is doing more than just being a word here. It's basically a mantra. The repetition creates this rhythm, like a drum beat, that just pushes the whole experience forward. It's the engine of the entire piece. But just when you think you've got it all figured out, just when we've decoded the whole system, something happens. A crack appears in the pattern, and it signals a huge turn in the narrative. For what feels like an eternity, the mantra just holds. The rhythm is relentless, almost hypnotic. Heat, heat, get it, over and over. You start to think it's never going to stop. And then, all of a sudden, it does. This one line, this is the moment where everything, and I mean everything, changes. Out of all that rhythmic chanting, a clear, personal, and deeply human thought just emerges. Wow, this single line just blows up everything we thought we knew about the text. All of a sudden, it brings in these ideas that were nowhere to be found before. Doubt, vulnerability, desire, a search for something you can't just get. It's like a tiny, profound existential crisis right in the middle of everything. Okay, so let's wrap this up. How does this crazy twist change how we see the whole thing? What is the ultimate meaning we're supposed to take away from this? You know, you can actually map this whole journey out. It's like we've stumbled upon these 4 stages of existential awareness right here in the text. You start with that mindless, repetitive action, then, bam, a moment of sudden self-awareness. That leads to the expression of a limiting condition, if only I could, and it all ends in this unresolved search. So you've really got these 2 different modes going on, right? On one hand, you have that primal, repetitive state of just doing, and on the other, you have this complex, thinking, questioning state of the conscious mind. The entire text is basically the journey from one to the other. So, what do we find out? What's the bottom line? Well, first, this is a text about duality. Action versus thought. Being sure versus having doubt. Second, it's a story about a journey from just doing something physically to thinking about it deeply. And finally, you could totally read this as a metaphor for the modern struggle, right? The daily grind broken up by these sudden moments where we ask, what's it all for? Which leaves us with one last question to chew on. After breaking all this down, what are we really looking at here? Did we just analyze the script for a 25-minute workout? Or have we actually uncovered a tiny poem about a 25-year search for meaning? I guess the answer really depends on how deep you're willing to look.